Hello there, and welcome to the 33rd episode of Strategic Zoomcast. You're watching Alastor's Stern Pioneers. He's on Crossing in the Woods, and he finds himself up against a very scary opponent in Paul AD. He's playing as the Brits from the South position, and this game comes with the AE GG guarantee. If it's not a great game, I won't upload it, so you know for a fact. If you're starting to watch this, you are about to witness all of mayhem, all of carnage, in a true onslaught. It's going to be awesome. And straight away, going into the build, we've got Kugelwagen coming out for Alastor. We also have the Universal Carrier coming out for Paul. This is Crossing in the Woods. It's a greatly well-balanced map. It's fantastically well-balanced. It's one of the most well-balanced maps in the game. But sometimes the only possible problem with this map is it can get a little bit choke-pointy from time to time, and therefore mobility is key to making games on this map interesting. And when I was setting the maps for Grand Championship Series using player feedback, people always said that this map was balanced. The problem is some people said the games could be boring on this map. And so I think these players today are going to put on an absolute show. And I think it may be a Wednesday evening here in UK, but I have helped myself to a beer. I've got a tradition that I don't drink alone, but I will help myself to a beer if I'm casting. So it's kind of like a get-out clause that I've got there. What's a Universal Carrier doing? It's haunting around. Early game engagements always centre around the Stern Pioneer. If you can beat them on the field of combat, which Paula, the rank 5 Brit player, is trying to do to the rank 10 player Alastor in this case. But Alastor does have backup in the shape of the Kugelwagen. VW Beetle getting into position. You'll notice the UC is going to be able to rally shots in. That's why the Mausers of the Volksgrenadier is going to be ever so helpful. Get behind that heavy green cover and put some heavy fire down on the Tommies. And indeed, it looks like Alastor's won that early engagement. This Alastor guy is formerly known as RTN Alastor. He loaded into the game with the Collector's faceplate, the Collector's Edition faceplate, meaning he bought into this game in 2012. So he's been around for a very long time. Here are the trenches for the Brits. Now, I find these bad boys to be a kind of unsavoury mechanic. I don't like the fact that the opposition can't enter them, which was the counterplay for Brits in Coming Heroes 1. Here you see the Vickers MG on the battlefield. It's going to be facing itself north momentarily, and just trying to keep Alastor from pushing into those territories, keep the munitions in Paul's hands. Elsewhere, he's battling hard with the Universal Carrier. He's now upgraded it to a Vickers mounted Universal Carrier variant, which is going to be good at putting the suppression down, and these first trinities had to retreat instantly, as seen there. Now getting the Royal Engineers out, Paul, so he will be able to start getting these positions on the map back. But to be honest, his overall control is great, and Paul is a player that's done very well at getting very good at this game, but the Universal Carrier's got a very difficult remit. He's got to stay alive, and just about this site blocker came into effect there and stopped the Universal Carrier from being destroyed. So good use of the scenery by the Chinese-American Paula. You can see that the Rekenwerfer is now lurking. It's on the hunt. It's very much a Jaeger Panzerschreck on wheels. So what is Strategic Zoomcast if you don't know? I always take a quick opportunity. It's basically, I use a few console commands in dev mode, and it gives me the ability to see those late game engagement battles with a better eye on the battlefield. God, Rekenwerfer's in a really good position here. He's just got momentarily spotted. You see, just got enough to get away. Oh, misses by the hair on his left testicle. Jesus Christ, that was close. Meanwhile, the Kugelwagen's getting shot at by these Lee Enfield rifles. Going to get pushed away. There are 8 of them, so that could be an automatic fatality. Will the Kugelwagen get away? Indeed, it will. Right, the UC has no rest for the wicked, and straight back onto the battlefield to push away these Stern Pioneers. What an interestingly competitive first 5 minutes we've had. It seems to me that both players are evenly matched and evenly poised to really make a go of this game, and that means we're in for the GG, the Legends and the myths foretold. Again, repairing in the mist. You will note that the Stern Pioneers have a fast repair rate, which does come in highly useful for the OKW. The design mechanic behind that being that, of course, the Stern Pioneers are matched. They're very expensive for a worker unit, and they're also a DPS unit, a mine clearance unit, etc., etc. They have a lot of work to do. Here comes that UC, pushing away its natural arch nemesis on the battlefield, the Rakettenwerfer, going back to base. Elsewhere, these first grenadiers are doing a good job of keeping this fuel point. However, you will notice that Paula's done a good job of keeping his own. We have very much a yin-yang kind of match-up on the map at the moment.
Enemy causing trouble, trying to take one of our points.
There we go. Kuberwagen again being repaired. It hasn't got a single kill yet, but it has nearly gotten Veterancy 1 to get that detection, which can be quite useful in the late game now and again. So we've got the Panzer II in the build. That is to be expected. It's nothing out of the ordinary. The Mechanized is up in decent time, and the Panzer II will be out within 8 minutes, which isn't bad. And we will be looking for a natural counter from Paul. So let's go and check on his options. He hasn't upgraded the AEC. However, of course, he will have the Ordnance 6-pounder anti-tank gun as an option should he want it. We also do have a Panzerfaust that could come in here. He has just upgraded to the Shreks, leaving him with 60 munitions, so he's more than a match for that UC if he wants to be. Here it comes, though. The light reconnaissance vehicle. It's a late war variant of the Panzer II, and it's all about just putting the anti-infantry devastation down upon Paula's army. Here it goes, marauding around. This time he's going to retreat now. Now. There you go. A little tiny bit late there, but it does get away with only one model loss. There's a shoe mine there. We need to keep an eye on that. Let's have a little scout for any other mines. Not that we can see. What's this here? There's another shoe mine. Let's have a look for any more. No, that seems to be about it. Now we're going to be keeping a close eye on... Indeed, he's gone for the AEC. There you go. So he's requisitioned it now, and he will be building it very shortly. Here comes the Lukes. Got to keep him away somehow. And the one thing Alastor's needs to be careful of is there a 6-pounder in the midst here? He doesn't know that, and it could be an option that his opponent could have gone. So he doesn't know that, so he can't be quite as aggressive as he wants to be. Also, there's a lot, often mines here, and he can see there's obviously Royal Engineers on the battlefield. But it will be the armoured car, so the AE car, as I like to call it. Kappa. That'll be on the battlefield very, very shortly. And that's going to cause the Panzer II all kinds of problems. It's going to be able to push left, mid and centre. Well, mid is centre. Left, mid and right. And keep that Lukes at bay. But here you go. The Lukes is going to try and make it... It's got to try and make a push whilst it's still a viable thing. But here comes the AEC. The AEC is now going to punish it. Got to get some damage in and try and get the Panzerfaust off. He's not been able to do so. AC has had a little tiny bit of a pathing issue possibly there. Didn't fancy just going straight in and redacting that Panzer II, and I think that would have been possibly a better option, but that's for me to say. Rakettenwerfer is going to reposition, get in the centre to provide the Panzer II better cover and better lines of fire. 9 minutes in, let's check on the stats. Very even game so far. Paul has had slightly less army value, but that's to be expected. He is up against OKW, and of course with the Stern Pioneers being high value units, it is the case that if they can get a lead, they'll maintain it for most of the game. Note in the victory point count, however, Alastor has made a definite and substantial lead. He's pushed his opponent down below 350, and is currently engaged in a double cap that was formerly a triple cap. AC needs to get a shot in. Let's get a bit of fog of war on the go there. Can't quite see his target as evidence there. So it's swig of beer time. Leffe is my beer of choice, because it's got more alcohol than most beers, so less calories overall. One 33 centilitre bottle is more than enough to get you modestly tipsy if you haven't eaten anything, which is the healthy regime that AE suggests. The good doctor. They don't know how close they are to that mine. They're very close, so it's a bit dangerous for them. The Foch Grenadiers are out in force. No veterancy on the Foch Grenadiers yet, which shows that Paul has had a great game for denial of experience to his opponent. Mortar's been built in a prominent position here. The Lux is getting rear armor shits on the AEC. Luckily for it, there is no backup from the Brits. It is just the AEC as the sole anti-vehicle counter. Mortar's been the option from Paul. And it's not hit any marks yet, but... oh, what a shot! Max range from Alastor. He takes out the UC, the upgraded Vickers UC, 10 minutes in, and finally makes its name, the Raketenwerfer, and does the job it was intended to do, and that's Werf the Raketens. He sees out for a measure of vengeance. Will he be able to find it? He may be able to do just that. Raketenwerfer isn't quite in position. 2 more shots required. AC's getting bold. AC's getting aggressive. 1 more shot required. Will he attack ground? Will he get it? Lux! Oh, he attacks the Kubel instead and abandons it. That's just bad luck. Raketenwerfer isn't able to get the shot. He's on the hunt now. AC's prowling. He's flanking. He's trying to kite. He's got an abandoned Kubel. That's just brutal. Absolutely brutal. Meanwhile, Foch Grenadiers decapping this fuel. They have lost the eastern fuel as well, so the Brits temporarily with a economy advantage, and that will come to show in the signs of an early Cromwell. And that's not because I've watched the game before, that's just because I know the meta. STGs are upgraded, and all of a sudden all 4 Foch Grenadiers have veterancy 1. 2 engagements at once here. Foch Grenadiers retreating here. Oh, and Tommies and Royal Engineers having to retreat there from the chosen commander of Scavenge Doctrine.
Point is being overrun.
And of course, we've got the very interesting Royal Engineer Regiment, which will, of course, lead to the Demolition Specialist AVRE, which, of course, has the Petard Mortar. And it's a damn fine vehicle. It's a specimen. I've seen one in real life. They're very interesting looking, and they're very much in this game a miniature Sturmtiger in essence, in their kind of functionality. They can be absolutely devastating in the right hands. Very costly vehicle, of course. 600 manpower, but only 140 fuel, so very easy to get out in terms of fuel economy.
Damned enemies trying to take a point from us.
Stern Pioneers on the rampage. They've only gotten 2 kills in 13 minutes. Again, indicating Paul's had great preservation levels. Oh, Stern Pioneers getting low. Yeah, however, good old Uncle Luke's is there to push the Tommies away, the brave Tommies. The brave because I'm British. Let's have a little surveillance of the battlefield. Pretend we're a satellite for a moment. Trying to look at Kim Jong-un's missile launch facility. I mean, sorry, these players' positions on the map field.
Trying to take one of our points.
Seems that this point's finally been captured here. But you've got to just absolutely appreciate the beauty of this game. It really does look beautiful, even from a top-down perspective such as this one here. Just saw the Raketenwerfer miss. Oh, we just saw the Kubelwagen finally go down to the AEC from a satellite imagery, reconnaissance plane output. It was beautiful to see. The AEC did finally get its kill, the one it wanted. So, earlier on in this game, we're now 14 minutes in, and we're very much starting to feel we are in for the long haul here. We're in for one of those classic casts, those classic games that build and build and build into a raging crescendo. And I very much feel like a conductor. I feel like I'm bringing you on for a journey with me, and we're going to be brothers and sisters by the end of this.
Ready to carry out damned enemies trying to take a point
Do have 5% female viewership. And 45% German viewership, so guten Abend, meine Freunde. I do not apologise for my horrendous butchering of the German language, and never shall. I do believe it's a unique part of my character at this point. One of the few people that got their dad to write a letter into the school asking that I shouldn't sit my German exam because it would have lowered my average grades overall. I was getting an F in German and an A in everything else, so there you go. That's just how much I hated modern languages, as it was called. Hadn't had a single mine detonation yet. They're all still standing. Panzer II Lux has only got the 4 kills, but it has gotten a lot of damage in overall. The AEC is in a very similar position with 4 kills, Veterancy 2. However, one of those kills notably is a vehicle kill. Oh! Stern Pioneers nearly going down. First Grenadiers actually offering themselves as a tribute, as a sacrifice to the auto fire. So there was no focus fire, it was all auto fire, which possibly saved the Stern Pioneers in all honesty. Tommy's now branching out.
Our capture point. They're trying to
It
take
could
it.
branch out over here and take this fuel. I mean, is this connected? It is indeed connected through the victory point, you'll notice. You've got an engagement in the east to have a look at. This Vickers is in precarious position. He was very mindful. There we go, there's a mine finally going off, killing 2 Fox Grenadiers. Very mindful that this 6-pounder could be getting into position, and he was right to be, because there it is in position, and it gets a shot in. Tommy's now kind of try and cover for it, but it's a little bit late. Second shot's in, it does need the third shot, isn't able to get it thanks to the STG Fox Grenadier Vet 2, and it is going to push the AT gun away. 3-inch mortar's gotten 5 kills there. I believe this is going to push Paul ahead in KD. And indeed he is. He's 46 to 23 now. And that manpower economy will start to shine up until the point the Brit player is able to get some of that medium armour out and really start to push the initiative from the 20-minute mark onwards. Interestingly here, the Fox Grenadier can't get in the trench, so it's gotten in the garrison instead. It's going to watch over that sector. Oh god, this Fox Grenadier's got a difficult retreat path. It's getting focus fired by 3 squads. And indeed the AEC with its very low area of effect shots, which aren't very good at infantry.
Your forces have constructed a company command post.
There we go, company command post is up for Brits, which means the Cromwell beckons. Royal Engineers add themselves to the fray with those Sten guns and the Minesweeper. And we do have the Flakpanzer IV Ostwind on the field. Only 45 of these creatures ever built in the Second World War. They are a fearsome contraption. And if you're new to Company Heroes 2, I will always tell you to look at the reload mechanic. It's one of the most beautiful animations in the game. This guy individually loads those shells into the armaments. Look at him go. He's having a whale of a time in his open top turret. The AC's having a time whaling on the side armour there, as is the 6-pounder. This Ostwind is in a difficult position. Oh, but it does not matter, because the Rakettenwerfer and the Panzerfaust wombo combo the Veterancy 2 AEC, and that is a big win there for Alastor. Just as it looked like his Ostwind was in a dire position, he was able to get the double tap hits on the AEC. The AEC is now to be replaced, however, with the Cromwell tank. I mean, I reckon it'll be a south-spawning Cromwell tank. Let's see if I'm right. Dun 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 dun. Dun. Fuck. Didn't need a Pyro here, but we have scavenger artillery to worry about. Where's it hitting? Oh god, it's on this target here. We've got the 6-pounder having to try and get away. The Lux was creating the reconnaissance for it. Garrison is going down. Possibly the Veterancy going to be lost on this 6-pounder. It does feel like he's in a safe position. Cromwell's now on the field though. Runs straight in past the Rakettenwerfer's cone of fire, which is very lucky for it. And there's some really juicy targets here, and Alastor's got to react a little bit quicker now. Got to try and get into... Oh, there we go. He gets a reverse shot off with that really good turning accuracy. He needs to get a Panzerfaust now to damage the engine. Has indeed done so. Which is going to leave Paula in actually a difficult situation. I don't know why he's retreated that other version idea. Would have been better to possibly get the Panzerfaust off here. Maybe it was already in retreat. Second Rakettenwerfer's on the field. Doubt he's going to be able to get into position here. Even though it's got a damaged engine, he will get a speed bonus, which will mitigate the damaged engine, allow him to reverse out of there at a trundle. Got an engagement in the west here. You'll see the damage done by trenches. Really are very good at what they do. Look at this AI capacity, and that's not artificial intelligence, that's anti-infantry. Demolishing that MG34 and pushing it back to base. Luckily, it did not get wiped from Paula's perspective. Foch Grenadier did lose that engagement, which is going to leave the Brit with his fuel, as you would have expected. There was an incendiary grenade that went in against that trench, but it wasn't enough to tip the tide of battle. All the forces are coming in here. You can see here the two Rakettenwerfers. They are in cloak. This is going to be a big shot. We'll look at it as though we're inside the tree. That's a good angle. I like it. Hits one, hits two. Half health remaining. We'll be able to get out of there because his damaged engine crit has been helped. However, the Rakettenwerfer nearly finishes him off. Just luckily for Paula, the second shot wasn't in the follow-up. Mortar with some big shots in there, and that Rakettenwerfer...
One of our anti-tank guns is gone.
Sorry, that Foch Grenadier has now been pushed away. Looked for all the world as though the mortar was actually attacking the AT gun to me then. Panzer II Lux is still on the battlefield. Only gotten the 6 kills, however, veterancy 2, so it is increasing in its battle worthiness. Main gun accuracy and rate of fire, so it's a really good veterancy point to hit. It's only a small amount it increases by, but it's still very worthwhile. One of the best vetted vehicles in the game, a Vet 5 Lux if you can get one.
Line's been cut.
Oh, he was pushing all the way into there with the Rakettenwerfer, but just forgot about it at the last second because he realised he only had 3 men on the squad, and the health wasn't too great. So if he got opened up by that machine gun, it could possibly do just enough work to push it away and destroy it. Oshvin's now repaired. We do have 2 Vickers on the field, so Paula's going to be trying his absolute hardest to contain his opponents in the relevant sectors. Cromwell is now battle ready once more after its pretty poor showing in just missing everything it could miss, and then just about getting back to base. It did a big loop around the battlefield. It's seen some shit, but it hasn't actually killed anything yet, which isn't what you want. You want a vehicle that doesn't see much but kills everything. Oh, good work for the infiltration grenades there. Pushing away that Vickers, but there was another one waiting, and that's the benefit of 2, I guess. Foch Grenadiers are able to cap this fuel point, which will temporarily leave Alastor with both fuels. Let's see what use he's able to put them towards. So, if you notice, he does have the first 2 structures. He's just lacking that all-important Schwer. Does not have the Schwer Panzer headquarters up, which would of course give him the ability to get the Königstiger out. Cromwell's going in for a dive. Will he be able to get the kill? It's done some serious damage against this Oshvin. The Rakettenwerfer's wailing on it though. He's gone past the cone of fire of the Rakettenwerfer. Now he's in a difficult position. Needs to get that final shot off. Isn't able to do so. However, does manage to make it behind this sight blocker. Oh, big shot by the Rakettenwerfer. Will the Cromwell survive? Yes, he will. With that's right. Hashtag slither of health. That is the cliche of co-casting and has been so for at least 10 years now, and that is not an exaggeration. Ooh, 2 6-pounders could be vanquishing the Panzer II. Aren't able to do so. Panzer II survives. A tale of 2 survivals, 2 very important survivals, keeping both of these players in decent positions. Let's check on the victory point counts. You'll notice that Alastor no longer has a decisive lead. I mean, he does have a significant lead, but it's not decisive. In terms of KD, however, Paul still does have a very interesting lead. It's not quite a 2 KD, but it's getting there. Do now have the Schwer Panzer headquarters building, so you can see that Alastor is after that Behemoth, the Tiger 2. That's what he's going for, and that's what he's sticking to. Covering fire, Elf! Love the British front's voice acting. Oh, dear God! We're not going to be hearing any voice acting from that particular Tommy squad. Maybe just blood-curdling screams as the Ostwind wrecks them. Absolutely wrecks them. Infiltration A goes in, very well dodged by Paula, and the mortar is more than enough to push these Foch Grenadiers away. Let's have a check on the battlefield and just update ourselves on the situation at the moment. Victory point's neutral, and we do have tanks pushing in. The Ostwind is going to be trying to get out of there. Cromwell with a decent shot. doesn't hit the mark. There you see the mortar. We saw the full range of the mortar there. It does now have veterancy too. This on the battlefield. It does appear we have a second Cromwell tank. It's matching the Rocket Viver, but manages to push it away. There are two. And I do think that Alastor was possibly being a little bit too cautious there. But he felt he didn't have the infantry backup, I guess, and saw the Royal Engineers providing the backup to the Cromwell. This is a game of combines arm play, and that does tend to reign supreme. We're 25 minutes in, and I'm sure you'll allow A to have another swig of beer. Hang on. And you will also notice that Alastor now has the Panzer IV Jagdpanzer on the battlefield very shortly, which will add an interesting contingent. So you'll have these two anti-infantry tanks with the big casemate, and it is going to appear this time. I have full belief in myself this time. It's going to appear right there. It's going to spawn onto the battlefield. Now! There you go. Just like the Terminator. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Luke's gets a wombo combo 6-pounder salvo into his front wall. Taken out with the attack ground. That's a big win there for Paula. Well done. The Chinese-American playing the Brits. He gets a big shot off. And with that 1/3 chance, rolls the dice and is rewarded for his skill. It's a big win for him. Just as the Jagdpanzer now is going to be hunting. It's in the name, the Jagd. Ostwind's going to be looking for a measure of revenge for its anti-infantry vehicle brethren. Cromwell's good shots in. Might he be able to finish off this Foch Grenadier? No, he is not. Notice we do have a Vet 5 Foch Grenadier there. That's going to be handy. Oh, Raketenwerfers! Get the revenge he needed. And we have destruction on crossing in the woods now, as this vehicle is a burning wreck thanks to these Raketenwerfers. Cromwell marauding. Got the Ostwind making a nuisance for itself. It seems like the policemen are in full accost now. They're going to be trying to get rid of the Ostwind. Both set up. One mark hits, second mark hits. Cromwell was not in position to finish the job. However, will the 6-pounders be able to do the job themselves? They're going to be attacking the ground now, trying to get those shots off, and aren't able to do just that, unfortunately for them. However, we've had good turnabout in play, and that'll be shown with these graphs. You'll notice we had up and then down for both players, which were those vehicles getting taken out respectively. Raketenwerfer was possibly going to sneak inside the capping circle, saw the Tommies, thought better of it, and now the Foch Grenadiers are going to do the same. You will notice now that we have 3 victory points in hand for our good friend Paula, the Brit player. And that is going to tip the tide of battle, and you will now notice that for the very first time, in literally 6 seconds time, we're going to see the victory points neutralised. In 3 seconds time, victory points to be neutralised. There you go, it's a game of 260 victory points. Who's your money on? Let's pause it right there. Well, I just paused it exactly the wrong moment, but it was just 260. I mean, you've got to be looking at these battle screens now. I mean, if you're watching this YouTube video, I want you to this point write a comment as to who you think is going to win this game based on the current battle situation. It's going to be very interesting. Just as my gut instinct based on this, knowing that we have the AVRE to come out from Paula, I think the technological edge has got to come from that. However, we do know the Königstiger is going to be on the battlefield. So in all honesty, I'm going to pussy out of making a decision. I'm going to say it's all based upon those 2 heavy tanks and who loses it first. So we've got a lot that's going to be at play when those heavies hit the field. Tommy's under a decent assault there, as the scavenger artillery 105mm is going to rocket down from the sky. Brit player Paula has to get the hell out of there. The first shot does still hit him regardless. The Jagdpanzer has been pretty useless so far. Not been able to keep the Cromwell at bay. Or rather, it's not found the Cromwell in the field of battle, but I'm sure it will do that very shortly. Or will indeed the Jagdpanzer be found out? No, he's backed himself into a corner. First shot missed from the Cromwell. Now he realises he is outmatched and outgunned. Rakettenwerfer's going to fire into his rear. Great shot there. Will he be able to finish him? No, he will not. And the Cromwell trundles off to safety. Elsewhere, we've got Alastor capping up the west. He's going to be able to neutralise things for now. This Cromwell could be getting Panzerfausted. There he goes. He takes it out of his pocket. Damages the engine. Is there any follow-up? Will the Jagdpanzer be able to follow up? The Austrian might go in for the kill. These 6-pounders, though, are going to prove a worthy adversary. We now have 2 Austrians on the field. One's going to get shot. The veteran C1 Austrian's going to be in position, though. He's going to be able to decrew this 6-pounder. Will the other one be able to get away? If he's able to get rid of both and decrew both, he may be in a position to finish off the Cromwell with the follow-up from the Jagdpanzer. Where is the Jagdpanzer? It is coming into field of vision. That's right, so he's decrewed the 6-pounder. He's got a perfect play now. We've just got these infantry sections trying their hardest to keep at bay, but it doesn't matter because he's destroyed a 6-pounder with the Jagdpanzer. That's tactical gameplay at its finest there from Alastor. The bigger prize was the Cromwell, but he goes for possibly a better material prize. Oh, destroys 2 6-pounders. That's a lot of manpower. That's 640 manpower spent. He might be able to finish on the Cromwell as well. This could be huge. This could be massive. This could be game-winning for Alastor. Isn't able to do it thanks to this lucky shed. Will he be able to attack through the sight blocker? I doubt he will be able to do that.
The enemy have destroyed a forward position.
It's almost as though he's trying to give off the impression he was baiting, but he wasn't actually doing so. Jagdpanzer could be going for the finish here. Alastor possibly doesn't realise just what a good position he's in, and he could have finished off his opponent there and then, in my opinion. You will notice the silhouette of the tank that is building. It is indeed the Sherman Firefly, as this Tommy's very lucky to escape there. Elsewhere, we've got an engagement. Well, we haven't. It's just a trench. Sternpine is going to take that position. Brace structure in for to take into account for the incendiary grenade.
Enemy threatening a capture point.
Some good, thorough salvaging being done there from the scavenger doctrine. Let's have a look at the fuel that he gets. There you go. +5 fuel, +15 munitions. Not bad at all. He's already upgraded the Sherman Firefly to the Tulips, which is going to prove very meaty. Double suppression from this Vickers does not stop the infiltration grenade wiping the Rakettenwerfer.
One of our anti-tank guns is gone.
Just causing a nuisance there. You will notice Alastor was able to get the triple cap. He's got all 3 victory points, and that has meant that he's pushed his opponent down to 182. We do know that Paula was in the position to get the Aviary, but instead he's had to go for the Firefly, and I think that's a much better decision. He feels the King Tiger is looming, and he's gone for the wise decision, in my opinion, there. Oh, my bad, sorry. I won't admit why I've had to put Wikipedia up there. It does help with something that happens very shortly. Ah, there we go. I knew it was 68 tons. Well, I can never be sure. Oh, here we go. The Bren of the Foch Grenadiers doing damn fine work down on these folk. Yeah, the Austrian's going to come to bat them away with a good goaltender. Elsewhere, the Bren's going to prove more than a match for this negative cover Stern Pioneer. To be honest, we don't have to watch for the King Tiger quite yet, due to mostly the fuel economy of Alastor's down to 107. He's not in a position to do that, and it's because he got this second Ostwind, in my opinion. And now we're going to be judging this second Ostwind worth 100 fuel, just for how useful it is versus getting the King Tiger out. So he's got a lot of killing to do. Interesting engagement there. Interesting match. Sorry. Look at the victory point counts. So close. Foch Grenadier just hitting Vet 5. That's the second Vet 5 Foch Grenadier. A lot of veterans here for those guys. Tulip rockets just went in. Didn't do too much. Ostwind's doing damn well. The Jagdpanzer in good position. Will he be able to take out the Churchill? Not the Churchill, sorry. The Sherman Firefly. One more shot required. Firefly goes in. Isn't able to finish it off. Elsewhere, we had the Cromwell go in against the Ostwind, and that is now a burning wreck. So good win there for Paula. He's able to escape with the Fireflies alive. The Jagdpanzer wasn't able to finish the job here. However, may be able to finish the job in the west and make up for lost time and missed opportunities, and is able to do that, destroying it in 2 hits. Cromwell destroyed. Got the howitzer going in for the 3rd time. Again, not with many kills. Jagdpanzer could be going down. Indeed, it does! What a shot there. That was absolutely insane. Vickers in a decent position, taking out these first units. However, they do manage to get the cap, so lack of suppression there possibly. We have a stolen Rakettenwerfer in base there for Paula, so that every little helps in that regard. Let's check on the mortars kills. 20, not bad. It's going pretty well for both players at this point. Good healing on the move there for the Brendup Tommies. Now hitting Veterancy 3 for both. These Jaegers are in a difficult position. Quite know what's going to hit them. Oshvin circling, and it's more than enough to tell the Tommies to get the fuck back to base. Elsewhere in the east, God, this Vickers is going to be recaptured for Paula. There's the gun crew that has been lost. However, you'll notice in the west, these STG focus grenades are capping up the west, obviously. Rakettenwerfer managed to cap up the centre. This focus grenade is pushing south, which is going to keep the victory point dynamic in Alastor's favour, pushing Paul in a dire predicament. He's having a bit of a scout, seeing what he can see. Going to throw the incendiary grenade in at the mortar. Brace the structure to counter that. Ooh, Royal Engineers possibly dying. Oh, they do indeed die.
The squad's gone.
Do you believe that it was possibly them that had the kill on the Jagdpanzer early on? I didn't want to go looking for it because there was other stuff to cast, but I was wondering in my head what had killed it. It was possibly them. We'll never know now. Fireflies getting into position. Looks like a mammoth tank from Company Heroes with those rocket mounts either side. Obviously, it possibly would need the 2 cannons to make it truly look like one of those vehicles.
Ready for use.
Mortars hit in the centre, hitting no one in no man's land. Ooh, nice dodge yet again from Paula. His micro has been on point in this game. Alastor's been playing damn well as well, though. Churchill is the policeman of the battlefield. It's constantly coming way too late to be of any use. Just in time to go to the donut store. Osvin doing enough to indeed make itself available for a big tulip rocket. Second one misses. However, it does currently has this critical blind, making it temporarily a sitting target for the Sherman Firefly. However, the Rakettenwerfer keeps the heavy-hitting Brit tank at bay. A big 6-pounder cannon put sideways into the Sherman's turret. It was an ungainly vehicle, blinded the crew temporarily inside, but it was the only thing on the western front that could take out the big heavy cats of the German army. It's all quiet on the western front. Central ground is currently held by Paula. He's stalled the victory point count at 136 for now. And he's currently repairing with war speed enabled. Mortar goes in. Big shots. Oh! Could have wiped there. Didn't manage to able to do it. Bren putting heavy fire down. And we've got the Vickers now in a really good position to just watch over both of these exits there. And would have kept that victory point in tow. He's got to push up though now, so he's really got to push the initiative. However, you will notice his fuel count getting ever so close to 300, and that's ever elusive Königstiger. Showing Firefly.
Damned enemies trying to take a point from us.
Isn't able to get the shot it requires. However, the mortar might round. And also you have to watch out for those Brit mortar wipes. They can be devastating. He's been a bit lucky, Alastor, so far. He has eaten the shots without actually getting wiped. He wanted to try and get the infiltration grenade off there. Wasn't able to do so. This game still has legs, and I really do feel like it's starting to get into the interesting zone where things are going to really pick up and get to that point that we knew they would do. Ostwind eats shots, reverses away, as does the Sherman Firefly. Still hasn't hit Inveteracy 2, still has no kills. The fuel recapture device, aka the trench, is countered by the infiltration grenade, but it means the infiltration grenades have to get up to the Tommies outside of cover and make themselves sitting targets to that Bren gun, and that's shown just there. But here come the Sturm Pioneer and the Jaegers to more than make up for lost time for the STGs and Gewehr 43s. Tommy's putting really good fire down there. They might actually be 1v1ing this situation. In fact, if they'd entered that garrison, that would have been really interesting for Paula. However, he was possibly microing elsewhere and then looked back at the situation. Vet 3, Flak Panzer, is coming to finally vanquish this Vickers gun. However, hits a mine, damaged engine, but no follow-up until this Firefly is able to get into position. And by that point, the Ostwind will be more than safely back in base. Comet out for Paul. Interesting choice. That's a really interesting dynamic now. He's got the heavy hitter, but he also has the best all-round tank the Brits can actually field, the Comet. So it's got the best profiles all-round and the best speed all-round of any vehicle of its type. Very similar to the Pershing in that regard. Similar profiles all-round, to be honest. There you go, that terrible dynamic at display again. I'm not a fan, He's able to get into position and just win that engagement. Raketenwerfer is lost at the exact wrong moment because we've got the Comet now is going to reign supreme. This will mean that Paul, as we've seen, is able to get up and reclaim. That's right, I made reclaim rhyme with eam by changing the noise there. That's what a true poet does. Reclaim that victory point.
Ready to move out.
There you go, war speed is enabled. He's repaired the Sherman Firefly. It's got a full salvo of tulip rockets, and it is ready to go. We do have a lot of munitions in Paula's cache. It's interesting that we haven't seen any of the abilities, such as vehicle crew repairs. Raketenwerfer gets a shot in. Oh, here it is, the 68.5 ton, the Royal Tiger, the Bengal Tiger, the Königstiger, the Tiger Bay, the Tiger II, the big fat fuck of the heavy panzer division is on the battlefield, and it's now going to be able to soak up pressure and deal heavy damage. And there you go, it ricochets one shot, lightly damaged by the other. However, the tulip rockets go in, and the Comet's now going for the flank. This could be the worst entrance for a King Tiger you've ever seen. Over there he goes, he's now able to reverse away and actually hits the Sherman Fire with a big shot from that heavy cannon there. Oh, destroys the Royal Engineer with a flick of its wrist. That is heinous. Comet doesn't know when to quit, is still engaging. Firefly, oh, nearly gets taken out. Faust damages the Comet. Both tanks of Paula in dire straits here. And the King Tiger could actually go on the hunt, in my opinion. It really could do. Notice we've got a very important battle here. Now, I stress this is important because both players are below 200 victory points. So, even though we've got these heavy vehicles on the game front, we are going to have to watch out for these infantry dynamics as well. Ostwind takes out the Tommy squad. It loses one of its Brens. Could actually finish it off here, could polish it off, could decimate it, could annihilate it. Oh, is able to do so.
The squad's gone.
And the King Tiger's now back and ready for warfare. Looks like Alastor's in such a nice position. Finishing off my beer, bear with me. It'll power me up, don't worry.
An engineer unit is ready for action.
Right then. I feel we're ready for that last segment of the game. The one that proves who the true man amongst the boys is in this situation. the difference-making engagements, the ones that make for a GGWP situation, are beckoning. King Tiger's in situ. I mean, heavy fire down, missing on this first front. Rekettenwerfer does land and penetrate that second shot. Comet hits the rear armour, technically speaking. However, the shown Firefly, unfortunately for it, is nowhere to be seen. Do have the 2 Royal Engineers bringing it back to life, resurrecting it from the brink of destruction.
100 points left.
100 points left for Paula. He's leaving the slate. His opponent has 82-point advantage. Osvin's flanking around. Doing some serious damage. You saw what it was capable of doing. It has 33 kills, that thing. It's been a Terminator unit. Terminating the hopes and dreams of many a Tommy squad. And here we go. We've got the Firefly as a possibility. Is a massive tulip rocket an eventuality for either of these 2 vehicles? Needs this vet for Rekettenwerfer to help out in any eventuality. Got both tanks now up to full health. And Faust in, all it does is damage. And no damaged engine. Rekettenwerfer didn't manage to time its salvo. Second shot does do some serious damage, leaving it at 60% health. Here comes the Firefly. And a machine gun go down. Notice Alastor's actually seems to be in decent parity with parity with his opponents. However, the only difference maker really is the mortar as the indirect fire option. The mortar, by the way, has 27 kills. Oh, Tulip rockets go in. Second shot ricochets off and knocks out a first round here. King Tiger's going to try and vanquish it. Osvin's still peppering his opponent. One more shot possibly required. Will he be able to get it? Here it comes. The big shot from the King Tiger. Main gun destroyed. Lingering life of the Firefly somehow still alive. Comet's now coming into situ. It's got 70% health. It eats another shot from the Rekettenwerfer. Going to try and take out this vet for Osvin. Will be able to get the shot. Damaged engine now received thanks to the Focus Grenadier. However, the Royal Engineers are able to take out the Rekettenwerfer. Are able to now man that vehicle. Comet's in an interesting situation. It's now up against the vet for 5 Focus Grenadier. King Tiger's come into position. That could now finish off. Misses the Comet. Rekettenwerfer. Stolen Rekettenwerfer glances harmlessly off the side there of the King Tiger. And again off the King Tiger. No damage done. Big damage done by that same heavy cat. So we got both players with their respective elite armor now. However, the even though the Firefly just said he was in ship shape as the voice line, he definitely isn't in ship shape unless that ship is the Titanic. So we have 88 victory points for Paula. We have 160 for Alastor. However, Alastor is about to cap this Eastern one and further push his American opponent further down. American nationality, of course. I believe Alastor is as well. Rekettenwerfer's on the western victory point, as is the infantry section, giving good fire. And let's just have a surveillance of the terraformation of the battlefield. It's utterly scarred and charred, and it very much is scorched earth now. God, that was a quick repair time by these 2 Royal Engineers. They're getting that shown Firefly in true ship shape and ready to tango. Comet's being rebuilt. Looks like the King Tiger's going to have more than enough foes to deal with. However, Alastor has enough manpower and fuel to build anything he'd like at the moment. Unless he's saving for the Panther, perhaps. Maybe that's the option he wants. He's going to need it up against these opponents. What a game we're watching here. What a battle. What a huge contest between true equals. Firefly blinds his opponent with a tulip rockets. Rekettenwerfer follows up. Here comes the Comet. Is he able to get around the rear armor? Firefly takes another shot. He needs to get around the rear armor of the Comet. Is he able to get it? One more shot required, possibly. Needs to glance around. Doesn't need to because the Rekettenwerfer polishes him off. GG called by Alastor. He fails without the King Tiger. He is out of this game. And if you look at his fuel count, maybe he called it early. But I think in general he's feeling that his overall army size isn't where he needs it to be, and he feels that Paula is in the ascendancy. Even with an inferior victory point count, Alastor throws in the towel there. Great game by both players. If you want to see more great casting from myself, tune in this Sunday from 6 PM GMT, that's 7 PM British Summer Time, that's 8 PM Central European Time for Factional Showdown Episode 3. That's going to be on twitch.tv/AECOH, and it's funded on patreon.com/AECOH. So thank you to all benefactors, and thank you for watching, and goodbye.